what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Robert Pattinson and how he is refusing to bulk up to play Batman. And this is very irritating to me, as well as a lot of other fitness people on YouTube. And I think it's disrespectful and a huge slap in the face to every other actor who's basically got in shape to look the part to play a superhero, right? It's what comes with the role, especially as one as iconic as Batman. And this is all stemming from an article that came out, or an interview in GQ magazine, where he kind of did like a tell-all. And when they got to the part about him exercising and staying in shape to make sure he's ready for his role as Batman, he basically said, my trainer dropped off some stuff and I'm doing nothing because I don't feel like it. And I'm tired of other actors like my co-star Zoe Kravitz setting this precedent that you need to work out 4 to 5 days a week to be, a badass when you're on screen playing a superhero. And then he starts going off on this rant where he's talking about like James Dean back in the 70s and how actors back then didn't have to work out when they were going on screen. And it's like, well, dude, it's not 1970. We're in 2020. Not only has the industry itself evolved, not only has fitness evolved since then quite a bit, but the character in general, just the character Batman, has evolved so much since his first on-screen appearance. And I want you guys to take a look at this chart right here. It's a really cool chart that just shows how Batman has changed since his first on-screen appearance in 1943. Look at the costumes. They started off, they were basically like a spandex suit with a makeshift mask, right? And then as we go into them, it starts to change a little bit by the time Adam West comes out in 1966. And then we see, Michael Keaton in 1989, Val Kilmer 1995, George Clooney 1997, Christian Bale 2005, and then we have Ben Affleck in 2016. The suit has drastically changed. Why? Because the character has evolved as everything else around it, as the world has evolved, right? And so I think it's a little ridiculous to try to hold a hero like Batman to standards that are in the 1970s. Even look at the comic book guys. Look at the friggin' toys. Everything has evolved. The comic book Batman has evolved so much. Toys of Batman have evolved so much. Now they're all jacked and ripped too, right? They have muscles. They look a certain way for a reason, because when we think superhero, we think somebody that's, gonna be strong enough to save everyone. That's kind of like the gist of it, right? And granted, Batman is a special case because he's human. Superheroes like Superman, not every Superman was as jacked as Henry Cavill. But it didn't matter, because Superman could do what Superman can do whether he's jacked or not. It's just because he has superpowers. That's the main difference. Batman, he not only needs to look strong, he has to be strong. The dude is out fighting crime every single night. He has all these gizmos and gadgets that require strength to use. When's the last time you shot a grappling hook and then swung from it as you hold it, right? It takes quite a bit of strength to be able to do that. Now, granted, a lot of the times he straps it to his utility belt, but still, right? You need to be able to fight crime and look believable. And I think that's the biggest thing and why it's becoming so frustrating, because you can build a suit and stick it on Robert Pattinson and he'll look pretty good, but then you'll take him out of the suit and you're like, this guy has an average build. Look at him. Look at him back in Twilight. From him in Twilight to him now, there really doesn't look like much of a difference. He looks like an average, skinny guy that has some muscle tone, except now he has a little more chest hair. That's about it. And it would not take much for Robert Pattinson to bulk up just a tiny bit in order to play the role. And if we look at the average size of Batman over the last 10 to 15 years, I guess the easiest place to start would be with George Clooney, right? So if we look at George Clooney's Batman, he was about 171 pounds, and the costume itself weighed 90 pounds. So you got to be able to lug around this 90-pound costume. I would think the feat alone of wearing the Batman costume would put some muscle on you, which is why if you take it off and you look like an average skinny guy, it just doesn't make sense, right? It's not like the Iron Man costume where it powers itself and that's how it moves. It's literally a costume you wear and you're moving it on your own. But let's continue from there and go to Christian Bale. Christian Bale is about 180 pounds. I think Christian Bale looked the best, personally. I think Ben Affleck at 216 pounds, he looked great, but he was also really thick. I think Christian Bale is a really good sweet spot for Batman. And for him to get to that weight, granted, you're not going to be able to put on tons of muscle all at once, but if he just trained full body 3 to 4 days a week, think about this, guys. if Robert Pattinson right now looks like he's never trained in his life, he has like an average build, like I said, has some abs, that's about it. If he just boosted his calories and did a full body workout 4 or 5 days a week, he'd probably tap into newbie gains and build a physique that looks slightly above average and be ready by the time Batman starts shooting, which I think is going to be sometime next year because of the quarantine. Everyone's stuck at home. He is too, except that he's the only one who doesn't want to work out. He's being lazy, and that's so frustrating. Dude, you have not been popular since Twilight. Granted, you were also in Harry Potter, but you died, and your character died in the Goblet of Fire. So it's like, that's all I remember from Robert Pattinson. I know he's been in other things, but I know him from Twilight and Harry Potter. And that's about it. And he hasn't made a huge comeback since then. And so, for him to be handed this role as Batman, and to already be basically shitting on it, and coming up with these excuses of, I don't want the precedent to be set, is absolutely ridiculous. And it makes you think that there's other reasons why he might have issues with wanting to bulk up. I mean, I'm just going to speculate here, but who knows? Maybe he has some sort of like body dysmorphia or some eating disorder that we don't know about. I don't know. There's an interview where he was talking about how Taylor Lautner was asked to take his shirt off in Twilight, and he looked great. You guys remember Taylor Lautner in Twilight? He was pretty ripped and jacked. I don't know so much now. But then they asked Robert Pattinson to take his shirt off, and they're like, yeah, maybe put that shirt back on. I don't know, maybe that traumatized him. I don't know, it could be. It happens, it's not unthinkable to think that. Why else would he not want to put the work in? And it's like, it's not like the dude doesn't have a good work ethic, because as much as you guys want to say, and I mean guys, I know girls watch my videos too, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, Twilight was so dumb. I know you've all watched the movies. Whether you watch them on your own or you watch them with your girlfriend, I know you've all watched them, I've all watched them, and if you pay attention to it from a point of the acting, he did a really great job. He takes his acting very seriously, and I know in other movies that he's done, he's taken his acting very seriously. So if he takes his acting so seriously when he gets into a role, when you're offered a role like Batman, why wouldn't you take that seriously too? And take everything that comes with it. I mean, Christian Bale obviously is the best example of an actor who takes his role super seriously, because he went from being the mechanic to being Batman. He went from losing everything to making all kinds of gains. And that kind of brings up another question, right? Because we really don't know what these actors are doing in order to bulk up. Like, a lot of the times when the workouts come out of what they're doing, like, the actors are doing 2-a-day workouts and they're training super hard and they're eating 10,000 calories and that's why they look so ripped and good. And it's like, but they forget to tell you about the steroids that they're also taking when they're doing these workouts. And granted, a lot of times these workouts that you guys see online, I hate to break it to you, but that's usually not exactly what they're doing. They usually pump these things up to make them look so cool that you think that, okay, that justifies why the way they look. Like Zac Efron in Baywatch. They're like, oh, wow, here's his workout and diet. And I'm like, oh, yeah, then his workout made his jawline go from here to here, right? Anyways, we're not going to get into all of that, but I know a lot of you agree with me. So maybe he doesn't want to take steroids. That could be another reason. Maybe he thinks the only way he could bulk up to play Batman is by taking steroids. I don't know. I'm just speculating. That could be a reason. He doesn't want to do it. Doesn't want to put that stuff in his body. And that's totally fine. But listen up. If you don't want to look the part and you don't want to put the work in, then you need to find someone else to play Batman, and someone else who's going to take the role seriously, because I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there that would take this role seriously and do a great job. Now, if he did bulk up, I think that he would do a really great job. I think he is a good actor. I feel like, if you look at him in Twilight, that kind of like tone that he has could be morphed into the Batman tone, because Batman's obviously a lot more mysterious. It's the Dark Knight for a reason, and I think that he could portray that. Just, it's going to be hard to be believable without the muscles. I mean, like I said, Batman needs to look like, if he gets into a room full of dudes, that he can actually beat him up. And the suit can only do so much, right? I mean, look at Shazam. As much as that guy is trying to convince the world that that suit wasn't padded, that was definitely a padded suit, bro. You look great, you built some muscle, but you did not build Shazam muscle, okay? Like, let me just get that out, because I don't think I made a video on Shazam, and I wanted to say all this. I'm saying it now. Shazam was a puffed up suit. But I don't know, maybe it's a publicity stunt. Maybe they're trying to build some hype for the movie. Obviously, Hollywood is suffering right now. I don't know if this has really hit for you guys yet, right? But like New York is shut down, Hollywood studios is shut down, nothing's being filmed right now. In like another 6 or 7 months, there's gonna be no shows to watch and probably no new movies coming out because they can't film, right? We're gonna have this lull where basically there's nothing happening and it's gonna suck. You know, not a lot for the entertainment industry, but also for us because we want to be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Well, you're not gonna be because the quarantine life is killing everything. But I don't know. These are all just my thoughts, and I would love to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. Do you think it could be a publicity stunt? Do you think that if he does not want to bulk up for the role, they should kick him and find someone else? Or do you think that they should let him just do it? I don't know. I'm kind of for kicking him and find somebody who's going to take it more seriously because I like Batman. I love superhero movies. They're great. I grew up with these just like many of you. It's like you don't want to come across as a jerk and be like only in-shape people can play superheroes, because I know there's a movie coming out with Melissa McCarthy and there was like some controversy over that because they weren't like in shape to play superheroes. It has nothing to do with that. It's that you're taking a character like Batman, who has the strongest will out of all the superheroes. There was even a point to where he wore Green Lantern's ring and kicked more ass than Green Lantern did while wearing the ring, right? You're talking about a character that embodies having the strongest willpower, never gets up, gets it done, is human, takes hits, keeps going, breaks bones, breaks his back, gets back into it, and continues to fight. And you're gonna portray that with an actor who refuses to work out. It's just ridiculous. So if you guys enjoyed the video, you want to see more rants, let me know by smashing that like button, and obviously go down and subscribe. More videos coming soon. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And now I'm going to go back and finish that tuna that you guys saw in the beginning because I had to stop halfway through. I put way too much hot sauce on there. See you guys.
Marvel is better than DC anyway, so none of this video matters.
Yeah, right. Nobody's even going to watch the movie.